I was watching an interview by you. Um, you spoke about your time in France, your time backpacking through Eastern Europe. The Narayana Murthy that we see today, how did that transition on a very individualistic level happen from you hitchhiking in Eastern Europe to you, Murthy sir, sitting here today? And can you talk about some of the big learnings that you've had through that journey? Doesn't have to be very professional in nature, but just as an individual, as a person.
Well, I was very fortunate that I was brought up in a house, in a home, where the father, he was, he was not, he was in a petty job, what you would call, and mother was busy in the kitchen from 6 a.m. to probably 8 p.m. because those days she had to use wood to burn the stove, right? To use the stove. We didn't have any coal, we didn't have all these gas stoves, nothing. So the result was both the parents were busy with their own uh, chores, and the only time when we all sat together was at dinner. Father would talk about all the wonderful things that were happening during Nehru's, during that time, thanks to Jawaharlal Nehru. And he would tell us time and again, friend, the only escape you have from poverty is a little bit of smartness, lot of hard work, and an enduring value system. He said those are the only three things that will take you from where you are today to betterment. So we were brought up with tremendous independence in our mind. So therefore, whether my hitchhiking happened simply because when I left France, I said, look, I want to actually collect more data on my belief of compassionate capitalism. And I said, I want to go and I spent about 11 months on the road in not just Western, highly developed nations in Western Europe, but I also want to go and spend time in Eastern Europe, which was primarily under the communist regime those days, in Russia, in Israel, in Iraq, in Iran, in Afghanistan, etc. Because I was trying to obtain more and more data for my belief that compassionate capitalism is the only method for India to remove its poverty, and free market and entrepreneurship are the only tools that compassionate capitalists have. And that is how I spent my time going through so many of those countries, and I got confirmed by the time I reached Afghanistan. I was certain that that's the only thing that will work, and I'm very glad that I have been proved right. All other models of development have failed. You've seen Soviet Union, you've seen other countries, and the only thing that will succeed are, as I said, free market and entrepreneurship, unbridled but fairly regulated entrepreneurship, and I think that is the only hope for India.
If I may take the liberty, I'd love to ask you something a little personal, just to get to know you a bit more. Uh, Who were you hitchhiking with? And are you in touch with those people?
Well, when you hitchhike, you're not certain who will be with you for a day or two or three. What you do is, those days, now of course you can't hitchhike, thanks to all the terrorism, thanks to all the evil people, all of that. Those days, you could go and stand at a gas station, which is a petrol pump in India. And there will be cars coming and going in different directions, and you have to say, okay, this is the direction I want to go, and would it be possible for you to give me a lift? You are not certain how many miles he or she will take you, etc., etc. And therefore, you may come across one or two other people waiting with you to go in the same direction. And if the driver happens to have enough space in his or her car for maybe two or three people, then you would be lucky to strike friendship with them. And sometimes you may all get on at the same town and then spend some time together, or they may move on or you may move on. So there is no permanent companion when you're hitchhiking,
Uh,
at
you
least in my case.